Hi everyone, it's Rain here from Rain's Kitchen and Garden. Today I'm going to show you how to make cheese. This is a delicious, fresh and quick microwave mozzarella cheese. It's very easy to make. You do need some special ingredients and special equipment, and I'll talk about that next. And if I'm honest with you, I had to redo this introduction twice, so my cheese is a little lopsided because I keep taking pieces off and eating it. It's that good. So you'll have to forgive how it looks at this moment, but trust me, it's really delicious. I hope that you enjoy this video, so let me show you how to make it. These are the ingredients that you'll need for our quick mozzarella today. You're going to need some milk, 1 gallon or 4 liters of whole milk. You're going to need some filtered water, some rennet, I use vegan rennet, some citric acid, and some cheese salt. Now, just a note on salt. If you don't have cheese salt, use kosher salt, but please don't use iodized salt, which is table salt. It has been sprayed with potassium iodide, and it will kill the lactic bacteria in the cheese, which is there for taste, texture, and aroma, so your cheese will not work out if you use table salt. This is the equipment that you'll need today. You're going to need a pot that'll hold just over 1 gallon of liquid, or a little over 4 liters, because we're putting our milk in there. And we're going to be adding about 1.25 cups of water, plus all the other ingredients. You're going to need a couple of bowls that are microwavable. I've got 2 large glass bowls here. Obviously, you're going to need a microwave, since I said you needed microwavable bowls. You need a slotted spoon. You need a long cheese cutting knife, and what I use is, I got this at the dollar store, it's just an icing knife, and it works really, really well. You're going to need some measuring cups and measuring spoons. A thermometer. I have a nice digital probe thermometer, but any thermometer will do. And a very important piece of equipment is heat-proof gloves. You can see my cheese gloves are very well worn, very well used. I'm just going to let you know, regular dishwashing gloves or latex gloves, you may have to double or triple them up if you don't have heat-proof rubber gloves like this. We are going to be stretching out the mozzarella, and it's going to be reaching a temperature of 135 degrees Fahrenheit, so that's pretty darn hot. You don't want to burn your fingers. If all you have are dishwashing gloves, that's okay. Keep a bowl of ice water handy, and I'll talk about that when the time comes. Step 1 is to prepare your citric acid and your rennet. So you need to measure out 1 cup of water in 1 container, and this is filtered water, and 1/4 cup of filtered water in another bowl. I'm going to put 1.5 teaspoons of the citric acid into the 1 cup of filtered water, and I'm going to stir that really well. I want it all dissolved in there. There we go. The water's nice and clear, so it's dissolved. Now the second thing we're going to do here is we're going to measure out 1/4 teaspoon of the liquid rennet and mix that really well as well. Sorry about my hand, guys. Okay, so that's measured and mixed. Let's go to step 2. Step 2 is warming up your milk. So put your milk into your pot, add the citric acid mix, and put your heat on medium. Stir very gently until you reach 90 degrees Fahrenheit. Keep stirring so that everything is mixed in well and nothing sticks to the bottom of the pot. The milk has reached 90 degrees Fahrenheit, so I'm going to take it off the heat now. So step 3 is to add the rennet. Just pour that rennet in and stir for 30 seconds. After the 30 seconds, Cover up your milk and let your cheese sit for 5 minutes undisturbed. We're now on step 4. We're going to cut the curds. This is where your knife comes in handy. What you're going to do is check your curds. They should be kind of the consistency of a soft tofu. If it's not that consistency, put the cover back on and let it sit for another 5 minutes. Mine is okay. It's pulling away from the edges a little bit, and if I go like this, the whole curd moves at the same time. So I know that my curd is set. So what I'm going to do is just take my knife, go all the way to the bottom of my pot, and make a checkerboard pattern. I'd say that the cubes that I'm making are about 1 inch in diameter. Your curds may look a little bit like cottage cheesy at this point, and that's fine. So I've done it this way. I'm going to go back and do it the other way to make that checkerboard pattern. But my entire curd mass is moving as I do this. Now what you can also do is you can go in on a 45-degree angle to try to cut those curds, you know what I mean, at an angle. Because right now what we had before I started doing this was like one big long cube of curd like that. So if you just go in and go on a 45-degree angle and gently cut them that way. Step 5 is to cook the curds. So we're going to take our pot and put it back on the stove. So turn the heat on to medium. Put your thermometer back in if you can, and gently stir the curds while you heat them up to 105 degrees Fahrenheit. The reason we cook the curds is to help the whey release from the curd mass. The more you stir, the harder you stir, and the hotter the curd liquid cooks, the more whey is released. And the more whey that's released, the harder your cheese. So for example, if you're going to make a cheddar or even a Parmesan, you'll probably be stirring for a good 45 minutes, sometimes up to an hour or more, bringing it up to a high temperature. But our mozzarella is a soft, quick mozzarella, like a bocconcini style. So we don't want to release too much whey because we want it to be nice and soft. As you can see, the temperature is now at 106. It's been going up by 2 degrees, so 106 is fine, as long as you don't really heat it too much. Now I'm going to take it off the heat and continue gently stirring for 5 minutes. I'm just going to show you what it looks like for me, in case you want a visual. Kind of looks like cottage cheese. So I'm just going to gently stir that for the next 5 minutes to keep helping the whey release from the curd. Step number 6 is separating the curds from the whey and then microwaving the curds. I'm using my slotted spoon to ladle the curds into one of my microwave safe bowls. It's okay if you have some whey in there too. Now I'm going to put the bowl into the microwave for 1 minute. I'm going to drain off most of the whey into my second bowl now. This is where you're going to need your gloves. You can always keep a bowl of ice water next to you during this step. If you feel the heat too much, dip your fingers into the ice water and continue. We have to knead the curds and fold them over for about 30 seconds. Step 7 is to microwave your cheese for bursts of 30 seconds at a time until you reach a temperature of 135 degrees Fahrenheit. This is where the probe thermometer comes in really handy. I just stick it in. We're at about 111, so I'm just going to keep going, stopping every 30 seconds to check the temperature. We've reached 135, so I'm going to take this out of the microwave and move on to the next step. The last and final step is to stretch and shape your mozzarella. The first thing we want to do, put on your gloves and drain all of the whey out of the mozzarella. And the easiest way to do this is like this. I can still feel the heat, and these are heat-proof gloves, so please be careful. I want to really stress that. Okay, there's a little bit of whey left, but that's all right. Now I've got my 1 teaspoon of cheese salt that I'm going to sprinkle on top. And I'm going to kind of mush that all together. Make sure that that salt is really well incorporated. And as you mush it around, you're going to start to feel your cheese getting firm. You're kind of kneading it. Oops, I lost a few pieces there. That's okay. As you go, if you want, you can continue to get rid of some of that liquid. I'm just going to keep kneading it until I'm able to stretch it without it breaking. Starting to really firm up now. It's still not ready yet to stretch. Making those squishy noises. All right, let's see. It's stretching a bit. That's good. That's what you want. You want it to stretch. Now it's ready to form and shape. Now what I usually do, don't overwork it, by the way, because then you won't be able to make it into any shapes. Some people like to make a large ball out of it, you know, like that. I personally like to put it in a glass dish and kind of shape it into a square because I like to slice this cheese. But you can make little sort of bocconcini balls. You can make a large ball. You can do what I'm doing, whatever you like. And that's your cheese. This is just a dollar store container, by the way. So basically what you can do is store this in your fridge. It'll last for a couple of days. I don't think it'll last that long because it's really nice and fresh. It's a fresh mozzarella, basically. You can use this in salads. You can use this in sandwiches. You can even put this on your pizza. Or if you're like me, you can snack on it. It's so good. Well, now it's time for the taste test. Mine is still a little warm. I should probably have left it in the fridge a little longer, but I am too eager right now because I want to taste my mozzarella. This is such a nice, fresh, soft cheese. Look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? All right. Thanks for watching, my friends. I hope you make this. And if you do make it, please leave me a comment and let me know how it went. And please like and subscribe. And I'll see you next time on Rain's Kitchen and Garden. Bye. Delicious.